introduce yourselves.
Ryan Hartman, Resource Manager.
Sherry Evanson, District 5.
Tom Rion, District 4 Alderman.
Jennifer Gossett, Civic Clerk.
Kelly Warrington, IT Department.
Ready? And Dean Veneman is in Madison this afternoon, hopefully testifying on behalf of the city for a loan for the mill. So Dean is excused. With that, we'll call the meeting to order. Item number 2 is discuss and consider for approval of review attached city policy as presented. A, residency. Right?
All right, so a few years ago, and I don't know the exact date, from what I've heard, it could have been quite a few years ago, the policy was changed as it's stipulated in 3.08 for 30 miles of the boundaries for residency. In the current policy, it was still stating 15. So I just wanted to make it correct and across the board and just clean up. It was more of a cleanup item than anything to reflect 30 miles in both spots in the policy body. That's all I.
Any questions? Tom? Sue?
I think it was in 2019 that we changed that.
It's been a while.
I think it was.
Yeah, but then the policy was never changed, but the ordinance was control, but.
All right, with that, I guess I'll make a motion to accept changes to the residency policy.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Item number 3, an update on wage study process. You ready, Ryan?
Yep. One of the things when the wage study passed council approval was to just provide periodic updates on where we were at with that. And we'll be having the first, what Carlson Detman calls a kickoff meeting, and that is scheduled for next Tuesday, June 8th. And in the meantime, or prior to that, what we've been doing, Mayor Blazer had sent out a reminder email, and department heads and supervisors have been prepping their job descriptions and getting them updated and current, and the current ones have been provided. And supervisors and managers and department heads have done a tremendous job in getting those all to the HR department. Carlson Detman does not want those ahead of time, as we'll be starting to work through and walk through and talk through all those things as of next Tuesday. So that's the status on where that wage study is at this point in time. But everybody's done a great job of getting that information to us to this point.
Good. So this meeting next on the 8th. Anybody invited? Anybody?
Yep. We've got, boy, Sue. I know the HR department, the entire HR department will be there. I think City Attorney Schill is invited, Finance Department, just to see, and obviously Mayor Blazer.
So you're doing this pretty much with staff right now?
Yes.
I think just the kickoff meeting, right?
Yeah, it's
And
just
then it's not really the start of the,
Process.
yeah, I mean, I guess it's.
Right, and there, I think in one of our, the last HR meeting prior to this going to council was an employee group or a group committee, employee committee that might be developed for the wage study. And we are not, that has not been developed yet because Carlson Detman, part of their plan was to help us formulate who those potential individuals would be based on what they've done in the past.
And they would just disseminate amongst themselves the group, the employee work group, in a way?
They would be at depending on what was involved at that point in time throughout the process. But there would be bits and pieces where there would be times where everybody would be together to say, hey, as we're, if I'm speaking on behalf of Carlson Detman, you know, what we're looking at today is this, and this is how job descriptions are developed and what JDQs are, how they're filled out, and how we come to a wage rate that is satisfactory. So that what we don't want is employees running out or not knowing.
Right.
We want to have transparency so they know this is how, at the end of the day, this is where this wage landed and why.
Okay.
Versus, and they can then have those discussions with the experts, the consultants of Carlson Denton that'll be helping us. So they can have those representatives from certain areas. But again, they're going to help us to develop who that committee should be.
Perfect.
So that group will be made up of probably somebody from City Garage comes to mind. That's the only kind of remote group, and with DPW and Parks guys over there. So
Yep, I would, yes, and that could be, and again, not having had those deep discussions yet with Carlson Detman, if that'll be a supervisor or up to, the DPW superintendent, I don't know. They haven't given us a direction yet on what they typically do. It's more so be discussed on the 8th, so.
okay, good. Anything else?
I have nothing.
Sue? Tom? Jennifer? All right, do we need to take action on this?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, with that, I guess we'll move on to item number 4, which is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion, I second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I guess the meeting adjourned at 5:05.
Different than last time.
Paid up for last
I was gonna say, it was
night.
about the same time.
Thank you.